Sleeping?
We should get through this in about an hour, if that's all right. We don't have a ton going on, so Kayla, if you want to start the public viewing.
Yep, you're good to go.
Okay. Welcome everyone to the BIA meeting on November the 10th at 7 p.m. I'd like to welcome Jen, who's joined us tonight, and we'll be talking later about our new participation on the board. But nice to see that we have quorum. And I want to go through the agenda if you guys had a chance to look at it for tonight's meeting. And if you have any additions, I realize there's a few things that I may have forgotten to add into the agenda. So I think we'll add them in now, probably under events. I'm sure that we're going to want to talk about 7.1 being the shopping, holiday shopping event, non-event, whatever we want to call it. And the other one being the Santa Claus parade. I'm going to write that in at 10.2. Is there anything else that we may have missed? I admit I didn't go through the agenda very carefully this week, so I didn't give my changes up until now. Anything else we missed up until now that you guys want to add in?
Maybe something about the committee regarding zoning. I haven't done anything, but
right.
I just don't want to lose it. I think we should just put it on the agenda and say nothing new to report, but I just don't want to lose it.
Okay, so is that, what does that go under, Kayla? Business arising from the minutes, or is that?
That can be business arising.
Okay, let's make that 5.4. And what shall we call that, Sarah?
I guess that,
How about something like,
rezoning.
zoning suggestions for the OP, for the official
okay,
plan.
perfect. Thank you.
Zoning project for OP, which is the official plan. I did have that email from Mara on that, so I think I talked about that last meeting, but we can go over it again. Okay, so if that's good and there's no other changes or amendments to the agenda, no one's got their hand up. Okay, so then let's make a motion here. Be it resolved that the BIA Board of Management hereby approves the agenda dated November 10th, 2020, as presented. Do we have somebody who will put that motion forward and then second it?
Sure.
Sir, Sarah and Heather, perfect. And all in favor? Yep, we're all in favor. Great. Okay, anybody have any disclosure of pecuniary interest, conflict of interest, and nature thereof?
I am very concerned about getting myself in trouble around everything to do with Christmas and promoting Christmas. So,
from an echo standpoint, you're talking about, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, I don't want to be in a position where I'm making any decisions about spending on advertising, but I have made a lot of decisions about pushing it forward, or not even decisions, but I'm just pushing it forward. But I just want that on the record.
Great, I agree. Okay. So Kayla, you'll reflect that in the minutes if you don't mind.
Yep, absolutely.
Thank you. Okay. So now we're looking at our minutes from last month's meeting on October 13th. Did anybody have a chance to go over them? I know you're all just swamped. So
I did.
Would you like to make a motion to approve the minutes from October 13th, 2020?
Yes.
Okay, did anyone there able to second it who may have glanced at them these past couple of weeks? I think you read them, Sarah. Weren't we discussing that?
I did. I don't remember them, but nothing stood out to me as problematic. So
okay. So shall we go ahead and second it? Okay. So then, would we like to all in favor for the minute? I think there's only Nancy. Okay. So then, and me. So that is passed. Okay. Perfect. So let's get into the good stuff here. So business arising from the minutes. Here's some old time favorites here. Same old song. Oh, Jen, this is where the fun begins. So 5.1, the Santa float. So what I fear about the Santa float is that if we move it out for maybe we should talk about it in terms of the event, but I fear that if we move it out, we won't be able to move it back.
So here's what I've learned. I've learned that the cutter has been sitting at the DeRuyter household all year. So that's not much of an issue. That can still be used. And it's still kind of Jackie's court in terms of discussing purchasing from John Harper.
Did she get a hold of him? Does anybody know?
No, I don't think so. And I texted her tonight to see if she was coming, and she's not. So I'm going to say that she hasn't done anything about that.
No, I gave her his phone number and everything, but I don't think she made any progress there.
So Jen, just for your benefit, the Santa Claus parade float that I know you're familiar with, having worked on the Santa Claus parade project in years past, the gentleman that sort of owns it, stores it, manages it, Mr. Harper, he no longer wants to own it and store it and manage it, and would like the BIA to sort of help him figure out a new home for it and possibly purchase it. And we've had this on our agenda for the last 8 months, trying to figure out where the new home should be without a lot of success. And this is where we end up every week, not knowing quite what to do. So
we don't know how much he wants to sell it for either, do we?
I think he said 2,000.
He wanted $2,000 for the cutter and all the mechanicals and everything, but really, more than money, the issue is just what do we do with it if we have it. So we tried to get the municipality to step in and maybe purchase or own it, and then they deal with it. They don't have storage, so it's a bit of a pickle.
Could I make a suggestion? So you say the cutter, is that the whole thing? Like I'm sorry.
It's just the sled. It's the old sled.
Not the mechanical reindeer and all that.
Not
okay.
the reindeer, not the...
It's at the DeRuyters.
So that...
Natalie and Brody DeRuyter's
house.
Oh,
but
okay.
The other parts are then still with Mr. Harper. Is that...
That's correct.
Okay. Can I make a suggestion that we put like a little ad in the Echo, just a small one? What's today? Tuesday. I don't know if we have time this week.
Yeah.
But see what you guys think. Put an ad in the Echo that says, Santa Claus float is looking for a new home. Does anyone have a barn or some space on their property that we could store it? Do you think that's a wise idea? I know Sarah won't want to comment on the Echo, but
there's so many people that have these big old barns and there's nothing in them. They would be happy to help out.
It has to be indoors, right?
Yeah, in a barn.
It needs to be protected, but what it needs is somebody who's sympathetic and is willing to allow access to their property at any time. And that's, I think, if
twice a year, really.
Yeah, well, if people have contacts, I think we should go that route first.
Before we put an ad. I mean,
it's very public.
It's very public to put it in the Echo.
And then you have to deal with, I mean, I don't imagine you'll be flooded with responses, mind you.
I do worry that there'll be some negative feedback in that, Creemore can't get rid of the Santa float, and then we would really feel guilty because we'd have to find a home for it then.
But that's not what we're doing. We're not trying to get rid of the Santa float. The person that has stored it now needs to get it off they would like to have it stored somewhere else. So we're looking for another Good Samaritan to take on this responsibility for us of having the Santa Claus float. I think you'd be surprised how many people will step forward and say, you know what, my barn is beautiful. It's all, there's nothing in it. Take a corner. They'd be happy to do it.
Okay. Well, I mean, if you guys are comfortable with that, we still haven't talked to Mr. Harper.
All we were doing is complaining over the price. He wanted 1,000 and we wanted to give him less, right?
I don't even think the money's the issue.
It's not the issue. The money is not an issue. The issue is, what are we going to do with this thing? So we were kind of like, as soon as we can find a location, then we can talk to Mr. Harper about the cost.
So why don't we put an ad in the paper to look for a location of a Good Samaritan to help Santa Claus store a sleigh is a great thing, and then we'll go back to Mr. Harper. I think you'll be surprised. Someone will step forward, like Brian Usher Jones or something, just up the street. There's nothing in his barn.
Okay,
that's what I'm hoping, and we would just ideally need access, twice a year, get it in, get it out.
That's it.
And the only other thing is that it would, I don't know if we can say this in the ad, but we would have to have somewhere where we could get access. You know, Jackie and I looked at a barn up on 6th, 7th Concession, which is a wonderful barn, and they would totally let us put it in. But there's no way we could ever get it out of there if there was snow on the ground. You know what I mean?
Why don't we
That's
say
the thing, right?
accessible barn or
Like, you know,
Okay, so the goal, so here what we're gonna do is a public request for space to store BIA, the sleigh, and who can help. I need somebody to approve, like I can throw together some words.
I'll approve it. Yes, send it over. Yeah.
Okay, guys. Okay.
Perfect. Yeah. I like Nancy's words about a good Samaritan that's willing to sort of be the
Santa.
caretaker.
Yeah.
Of Santa's
Santa's
sleigh.
We'll help her.
Yeah, Santa's
Okay.
help, something like that. It's nice.
I love that this is a thing.
It's such a thing. It's been a thing for way too
Thing.
long.
Well, let's get the ad in.
Oh.
Let's get the ad in if you got space, and then
Okay.
we'll move forward with it. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And we'll pay for the ad,
Yeah.
obviously, the
Yeah.
BIA.
Okay.
So you can bill us. That's great, because I feel like it's just sitting there, and I worry that as the parade gets closer, by the next meeting the parade will almost be over, or will be over
It
actually.
will be.
And then I fear that you're gonna have all these reindeer and stuff out and
That's
not
something
have
to
a home
say.
to go
Okay,
put
so
them back
let's
in.
get the ad in this week. That's first step.
Yeah, Heather, sorry, you were saying something? Is
Well, Kayla just showed up, so she usually talks when we see her face.
that our motion, Kayla?
Yeah, unless you're gonna pull it out of a budget somewhere that it's already been passed. If not, we should probably pass a motion to spend the funds and put that in there.
Can I speak to the money as a treasurer, even if it's going to me as the echo?
Yeah, I think so. I wouldn't see a.
We have money in the marketing budget. I'm sure we do. To spend $17 on a classified ad.
Yes.
And I would imagine it's just gonna come out of the Santa Claus Day marketing
One of those budgets.
budget,
definitely.
and then that's fine.
You can go.
A little
Wait a
bit
minute, Sarah, can I just go back for a sec? Sorry, I know we're all talking. Sarah, I don't want it to be a classified. I
We
kind of,
don't. Okay.
bigger. Yeah.
I wanted it to be like a quarter page or less. I don't know. What do you
Okay,
guys-
well, why don't you guys, we'll move into like a client relationship tomorrow. You guys can do that. Okay, we'll put that together tomorrow.
Okay.
Okay.
Thanks, guys. Okay, so I think we can put that under marketing or Santa Claus parade budget. Yeah, perfect. Okay, so I'm gonna move on then, if that's okay. I don't think we need a motion there. 5.2 is washrooms. Up until now, this has been a bone of contention for us for the entire 6 months, but I think now we've moved the needle a little bit in that we have 3 porta potties out at Station on the Green that are being cleaned twice a day. Not ideal, I appreciate that. Not Station on the Green washrooms, which we would very much like to have, but I feel that, you know, municipality heard us, heard our complaints in the Echo and on our meetings, and for all of those people tonight watching from the township, we do appreciate that, and we appreciate the fact that they got us some washrooms. So I mean, it's not maybe the best solution, but it's something, and I'm happy to say that's what we've got as an update. Anybody else have any comments about that?
Does anybody have any takeaway? Has there been any comments that people are using them? Do we know they're
Yeah,
being used?
I'm
Or
wondering.
sending people that way?
I've sent some people over there. Jen, have you sent anyone over there? Jen is on mute. Are you on mute, Jen?
We can't hear you, Jen.
Oh,
Sorry, I had a phone call. So I'm on now.
apologies.
No, that's okay.
No, we were just saying the washrooms. Have you had anyone? Because you're kind of like closest to them. Are you saying anything about the porta potties?
I haven't worked a Saturday since they've been in, so usually that's the day that people are looking.
Yeah, I've sent several people down there.
Okay, good.
I don't know. They never come back, so I never know what happens.
Should
They come
we,
back. They fall in.
my question is, do our members all know that they're there, first of all? And second of all, is there something that we can do so that people know that they're there?
Is there signs on that boarding on the street?
No, there isn't.
Oh,
So
there's
that's something that could be done is, now that they're there, we certainly don't want them to be wasted. So,
Right.
anybody, like,
Notes.
We could create some small signs and just pass them around the community, put them in people's windows that say, that they're there if people want them. I don't know if that's tacky, but and ensuring that that everybody knows that they're there, because I'm not sure that everybody does know.
I think that's a good point, actually. So would that be something
my team knows that's where they are?
I think that Facebook group I've witnessed this week, it's pretty active. I think that that's a fine place to remind people.
Right.
I had sort of mentioned it before that we were putting some there, but I don't know if I sort of went back and said they're definitively there and in use now. So, okay, so what we could do, and I wonder if that's something Amanda wants to do from the township, in that, she did those really nice little posters for us back in the spring, maybe something in the same look and feel, unless Sarah, that's something we can ask the Echo to design for us. I don't know, but we could simply ask Amanda.
Maybe because it is a Clearview initiative, we should turn to them for recommendations as to how we communicate. It is a feel-good thing from the municipality too. They might want to play a role in that. So.
Yeah, and I think it just look and feel wise, she did those really nice posters for our doors at the beginning of the COVID thing. So I thought maybe in the same look and feel, she could do something similar. Okay, so I will take an action to reach out to Amanda to see if she would be able to just do a quick little printed sign or poster, and we could hand it out to each business. If they choose to put it in their window, that's fine, and if they don't, at least that maybe they'll let their staff and employees know so that they can tell people.
Yeah, it is. It's a good information piece.
Okay, great. And then signs on the hoarding, I can talk to I think maybe James Brewer. I don't know who's in charge of that anymore, and find out if that's something we can... Nancy?
I don't think James is in charge of the signage that goes on the hoarding.
No?
No.
He was just the designer?
Yeah, he's designed it, and then I don't think he's in charge of the signage.
Who is in there? Okay, well, I'll have to figure that out, I guess. I'm not quite sure who that is, but I'll ask about it.
Gary Page would know, wouldn't he?
Oh,
I think he might have done the initial.
Yeah, he did.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. Okay, great. Okay, so that I will take an action to look into that as well. Okay, great. Anything else on the washrooms, or can I move on from that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry?
Move on.
Oh, yeah. 5.3 board composition update. Okay, so without mentioning a lot of names right here, I haven't had a lot of feedback from the members that are on the board right now, but have not really been able to make it to a lot of our recent meetings. However, we do still have a vacant seat on the board, which was Darcy's. So I spoke to Jen, and I know Jen has spoken to lots of people on the board, and we're happy that she's here tonight. So I know.
Nancy.
So,
Silly night.
Can I make a motion?
Please.
So what we have to do now, I spoke to Kayla, and there's a little, I don't know, Jen, if you got my, I think it was a text message. I texted you like a little form that you just have to fill out, and that has to go to council.
Okay.
And then what they do is approve.
Did you say she sent it to me already?
I think I did, but I'll send it again. It's just a link to a Clearview Township.
I'm sorry. Okay.
Don't worry. I get it. We're all busy. It's not something that needs to be done right away. Just before the next council meeting. So it's just so that we officially add you into the board. And then they will, Kayla, they make a motion, right? Or something at the township, and then they approve your membership to the board, I think.
Yep, that's exactly what would happen. So the board here will make a motion to fill that vacant seat. Hopefully Jen will fill out that form and get it back to me. The next time council has a closed session portion to their council meeting, we'll just slip that in there, and they'll deal with that.
Great. Okay, so if you guys are okay with that, and Jen, you're okay with it, I'd like to make a motion that we add Jen Yake to the BIA board as a member at large. Unanimous. I think I need someone to make the motion and someone to do a seconding of the motion. So we've got Heather and
what do you want me to do?
Either, as long as
Motion second.
Can add you into the notes. And then all in favor, I think it's unanimous. Yay! Welcome.
Thank you.
Great. We're so happy to have you. Thank you. You add a lot to our board.
Our poor membership's getting scarce.
It really is. So it's Nice to have an old board member back here again. So we appreciate
Former board member.
Yeah, nobody's older.
Oh, sorry, back. It's a word.
No, it's
Yeah,
okay.
former board member back in our midst with all her experience and wisdom. So that's awesome. We're happy to have you. Okay, I'm going to move on then, if that's okay. Jen, did you have anything you wanted to add?
No.
Okay, we're going to move on to 5.4, zoning project for the official plan. So I have not moved the needle on this, although I said I'd work with Sarah, so I apologize. Mara had reached out to me and said she's happy to participate in a meeting or talk to us about how to set it up. So maybe Sarah, maybe you and I could sort of reach out to her and have maybe a phone call or something with her this week or next and just sort of ask her, you know, how we set this up, how we move forward, and then just sort of get the ball rolling there. What do you think?
So
Yeah.
your idea to form a committee, that's great. I'd be happy to be on that.
Yeah, I had hoped to bring something a little bit more to the table today about this, but anyway, I didn't get there. I think it's most realistic to think that we could really look at this in January, but I would like to form a committee that kind of makes sure that we're really reaching out to all aspects of our membership and building some relationships there. But I think that we can do this with Mara's help, and January seems like a more realistic time to approach it.
To January then.
I would agree with you all about January. Hi, Doug.
But do you have a notice on the timeline?
But yes, I'm going to do a but there. Just sort of reading through the email she sent me. Bear with me. Sorry about that. Basically, they're working on the official plan now. And although it's not really on schedule, I think, you know, there's still some time. She said she's happy to schedule a Zoom meeting. Let me know the dates. She says essentially the BIA should put together a letter addressed to her with the line new official plan, asking for what they would like the OP to do or what our specific concerns are. And then she says they haven't, and then they send it on to their consultants, and then they haven't got a draft of the official plans yet, but they're hoping to do so. And once they do so, it'll go to an open house public meeting. So they say this is a really good time to raise any issues that the BIA are concerned about. So I just want to make sure that we don't lose that window in January. So even if we just write our concerns to her, so at least we're on the radar, even if we haven't got a consensus. I don't know.
Okay, that's my concern. It's like we can't just say, yes, we want to do this because we haven't got a consensus across the board from the BIA.
Well, but we can do something where we, as the board, we could do something like just a call out, you know, what do you want to see in downtown in the next 5 years? And we can get some feedback from the membership. You know, I think we could put something together that could give us some kind of understanding of our membership and our membership's needs. My only concern is we can never forget half of our members own buildings and we don't talk to them regularly. And I think that they are really important. So I think that's going to be hard, but we really need to reach out to them.
Do we have their emails?
We can work with the municipality. I think they can be mailed things. Because we do have the tax roll, right? So, but Mara can maybe help us with that.
Kayla, could you help us pull the tax roll, the most latest one? Because I feel like now there will be a more up-to-date one since some buildings have sold recently.
Yep, I can look into that.
If you don't mind.
Yep.
Then at least, because I don't think we've pulled it in about a year.
Ideally, Heather is the secretary, if she has time. One of the tasks I know that's kind of on your to-do is making sure that we have a pretty decent membership list, Heather. So with contact information. So I don't know if we can maybe tap on your shoulder a little bit too to help us get that contact information.
Okay.
And maybe Lori and you and I can sit down and just put together some lists of questions or at least define
the issues.
Yeah, the issues. And maybe Mara has some ideas on questions that we can ask, and then we can push it out, and then we can work a little bit harder in January. But at least then we have, even if all we do is submit to the municipality, these are the top 5 concerns of our constituents or the BIA members, then, you know, I think that counts for something.
I do too. I do too. And I would hate to lose our window of opportunity. So, and maybe it won't really happen until January. Like maybe we can talk to her and find out more about their timeline, but I just don't want to lose that window just to be able to raise some of the concerns the community has. So agreed. Okay, so what we'll do is Sarah and Lori to meet, because we've got a lot of
you can talk while you paint maybe or something.
Midnight 1, I don't know. Okay, to discuss sort of the way forward for this committee. Okay, perfect. And Heather, you're going to, or Kayla, if you don't mind passing that list to Heather. Heather, I think you had did you find the old list from Karen that we worked on last year?
And I sent it to you, Laura, remember?
Oh, sorry. Yes.
We got it.
I've got it still. I filled it in.
Nancy knocked on her door to get it.
Yeah, I've got it and I sent it out, but I've got it somewhere. I'll do it again. It's mostly filled out, pretty much everybody.
You probably did send it to me, and it's probably in my email inbox. Don't worry. I'm sure I looked at it at the time. Okay, so it sounds like we're kind of getting forward on a list. Okay, great. Okay, perfect. Well, that's something.
You don't need to do it. You don't need me to do anything on the committee now until January.
Oh, we'd love for you to help us with the concerns and issues if you have them, you know, while we put this together, if you want to work with me and Sarah.
Yeah.
Would you be interested in that?
I initiated the thing in the beginning because but I just didn't want to do it on my own. I got this feeling that I was doing it on my own. That's why I pulled it so back. I'm like, I'm not doing this on my own. I'm not going to be the only one on the street doing it. So if you guys are working together, I would love that.
Oh, okay, great. I just thought you didn't want to be involved, but that we'd
yes, I do. I do want to be involved. I just didn't want to take it on myself. And that's
nobody should have to do that job.
I was gonna say,
that's just like, yeah, it's
totally get it, Nance. So yeah, if you want to meet Sarah and I and have a street side convo meeting.
I'm pretty much open anytime, so I'm not working now.
Don't rub it in. Okay.
Well, don't worry. I'll be working soon.
Yeah.
I have a week off.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay. Yeah, we'd love for you to join us. That's perfect. Okay. Anything else on this before we move on?
No.
Great. Street decor update. Ooh, this is Nancy. Good segue, Nancy.
So, I don't know what happened last meeting, but the pumpkins are coming out. I tried to get the township to pick them up. I thought that would be a great idea because I saw a bunch of pumpkins at the side of the road of people's homes. So, but the township said no, that very nicely no. But so what we've done is I've reached out to Tammy Penny, and she's more than happy to pick up all the pumpkins, get rid of the fern, pull it all out, put it to the dump. And on Saturday morning, we're getting our trees delivered at 9 o'clock.
And which Saturday finally did they say?
This Saturday, it changed
14th?
it.
Thank you for changing it.
Yeah, so we changed it to 9 o'clock on Saturday morning.
Okay.
And she's going to plant the trees, and we might need to get more soil, but she's not 100% sure yet. And I just need to get some kind of budget to pay her.
Are we talking Tammy?
Yes.
Okay. So Tammy's going to remove the pumpkins and plant the trees.
Yes.
Wonderful. Oh,
yeah.
This is a big deal.
So if I can get like $250, $300 to pay her, here's the thing. If we pay her cheap, then we're not going to get her to do it again. I want her to do it and not be a grueling task and be like, we're only getting $100.
I think a small business person, we should certainly pay them what their value is, right? I don't want to underpay people.
Another question for everybody. We've got the buffalo plaid in my shed still, and there's lots of it. Do I want to try to do the buffalo plaid, give it some color?
I would. I think it's quite
it lasts all winter, right?
Yeah, it's quite good for the weather, and it gives a little bit of color to the street, so we don't have the skis this year.
Okay. Yeah, and okay. So that's what's going with that. Yes.
Nance, do you have a date when you're going to be putting the stuff out on the street? Like, do you need help with buffalo pad bows or something?
No, I don't know when I'm going to do it. I'll probably just do it on my own. It's easier.
Okay, well, let me know because I can send somebody out that's really interested in helping.
Who's interested from your work?
Yeah, one of the girls in retail. She gets really excited about that stuff.
Okay, good. So you know what? I will let you know.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't take,
Yeah.
I don't think it takes long, but then I get out there and go, oh, this is a long time.
It
Yeah,
does.
sure.
It takes a lot of energy.
But
Let
I
us
want to
know.
be able to mess with, I want to mess with the buffalo pad for a little bit to see if it's going to actually go around, if I've got to staple them or what I got to do. So we'll see.
Yeah, I know. We might have to get longer ones, I fear, or tie them.
Actually, I don't think
sew
we're
them
gonna.
together.
I'm not buying more. There's tons.
Sew them.
We can put the black twist ties or the black
Zip ties.
zip ties, yeah, and make them longer. That's it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think it'd be really nice.
Yeah.
Because that'll give us some color. And okay, so I can also help with the trees, but let's make a motion for Nancy or for Tammy. Yeah, Nancy, sorry. You had more to
And
add.
also I'm going to start looking. I should have looked before, and I apologize, for stars or something to put on top of the tree, like maybe a wooden star. Only for Christmas, though. Anybody object?
No, but I fear that
How
it's going to
many-
be hard to find at this point.
I know. How many do you need, Nancy?
Michael's will have
35.
How many?
35.
35. What were you saying, Heather?
Mm.
Who will have
something
them?
like Michael's would have those, I feel like.
Michael's is ridiculously expensive. It's like
Well,
$20.
and I mean, you have access to distributors that can get those.
Yeah.
You-
Well,
if the turnaround will work, right?
it can't be something super expensive because it will get taken.
Okay.
So it's got to be like, I'd rather not do plastic. That's why I'm thinking wooden, and we can spray them or.
I have a few ideas of places I can check tomorrow, so
Great.
I'll look.
Yeah, and it'll just be for the Christmas season. Once Christmas is done, they're gone.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Or they're stored.
Yeah.
Somewhere.
Can we make a motion to put together a budget for Nancy to be able to pay Tammy Penny with? So can the
Let's say 3
motion,
hours, so 60. I would say it's probably going to take her all so total about 8 hours.
At what price do you pay her per hour?
$25 an hour.
That's fair, isn't it?
I think
yeah,
8. Oops. 8 times 25. $200,
There's
250.
Kayla again.
250 at the most.
Up to 250, a motion for up to
Up to
250.
250.
Okay, Penny?
I'm
Okay.
still waiting for her to give me a price, but I said I was
That's
going to
fine.
talk to you guys about getting a motion, so
yeah, so we'll do that so you can pay her.
that's great.
So,
It should be done by Saturday.
so Nancy, you're gonna put the motion
Motion.
forward and who's gonna second it? Heather? And all in favor of providing some money for decorations? Yep. And should we also make a motion for you to buy the stars or that's part of the decor budget?
Yeah.
We have money there.
Okay.
But we do have to talk about the pumpkins too, because they cost more than expected. I think we had a motion for up to $500 for the pumpkin last time.
600 was in the minutes, I believe.
Okay. So 600 was in the minutes and it was 800. Yeah.
I thought it was a lot less, but I was incorrect.
How come it was so expensive? You don't mind me asking? Is it because we bought more because we had more planters than normal? Okay, because I know in years past we've spent 500, but we had half the amount of planters, so that makes sense.
Half the amount of planters and half the size too.
Yeah. So in fact, it's actually not that bad considering. Okay, so do we want to make a motion on that?
Yeah. For me, I would just feel more comfortable if there was a motion just because we made a specific one around the pumpkins last time.
You're right. I think that was because Nancy wasn't at the last meeting actually, and I think we deferred it, Kayla, if you remember correctly, to this meeting so that we could do that.
No, we said up to 600, I think.
You did say up to 600, but you're absolutely right. You're on point with you. You kind of did it before and then
So
thought
can we,
that would be the cost.
amend that emotion to say, just an amendment to that emotion to add $200 in addition?
If you want to, or you can just make a motion to approve the overage,
Okay.
the fee.
Okay, let's just make a motion to approve the overage of the fall decor for the street planters. Nancy's gonna make a motion.
The breakdown went wrong is that I didn't give Tammy a budget of how many pumpkins.
Right.
She
Okay.
just went.
Well,
Yeah.
They
That
look
was
great.
big on my
they
budget.
look amazing, and I got so many compliments from customers and people on the street were saying it. So I think it was
And in actuality, I did a breakdown of all the different planters in every season and how much it costs per planter, and the pumpkins are like nothing. But anyways, I'll actually do a better breakdown and
In
I'll present it.
comparison to plants and flowers, yeah, you're right. It's a really reasonable thing.
Yeah, it was
Okay.
really good.
So we'll
Okay.
make a motion to approve the overage of the fall street decor for the planters. And who'd like to second the motion?
Me.
Yeah, okay, Nancy. And all in favor? Okay. And anyone opposed? Okay, so motion carried. Sorry, you were slow, Heather, on your putting your hand up, so I wasn't sure if you were opposed or not. Okay, so that's great. So that can be paid. Let's talk a little bit about lights for the street and the stars, those big stars, because I want to give you an update. And Nancy, I even have an update today. So I think, oh, hold on. I've got an Adobe update flashing up in front of our faces. Just a sec. Okay. So this is where Nancy and I think I got to. And Nancy, jump in here anytime if you want. Mara was helping us with the lights for the last 2 years. And then she's a little overwhelmed right now. So she passed it on to Amanda Murray to help us out, which was great. So Amanda helped us tackle the finding solar lights for the trees, because you remember we wanted this sparkly little white lights in all the trees, but they had to be solar because
There's no power.
there's no power. And after 8 months of consultation, there's no chance of us ever getting power on these poles. So we have not to find any solar lights up until now that are commercial grade, that will do the job, that will get us through the winter, that we can leave up all the time.
Did you see my floodlight?
I did see your floodlight, but then I thought about snow and snow plows, and I'm not sure that those little floodlights wouldn't get buried in the snow.
Are the floodlights solar?
Yes.
Okay.
And it's excellent idea. So what I did today is Barry Burton helped me because he's in the lighting business. And so he gave me a contact who then gave me a contact, which passed me back to Decolite. So I called Decolite in BC and I told them the whole story, the poor guy. And he thought it was kind of crazy that we weren't getting permission for the poles, but he also told me that there's no such thing as the proper solar light that's good enough to be bright enough for a street, for a town. He said he's getting requests about that, and he says the problem is like the ones that are made sort of in home hardware type stores is that they're just not hardy enough to withstand the conditions of the street. And they're also not bright enough. I've been testing some out. I know Nancy tested some out all summer, and they just don't give you the luminosity. Like they just die in half an hour, you know, and maybe that's okay for the backyard, but it's just not enough for the street to spend all the money putting them up on the trees. So I talked to him and he said, there's just nothing on the market, and he's in the lighting business. He lights streets all over Canada. Okay. So that's where we're at. So we don't have any lights for the trees.
Okay, so and the stars that the township is going to put up on the poles, those are okay?
No, nothing can ever go on poles ever again. That was
any stars. We don't get anything. The only decor we get is on the street level, on the ground.
Right now, yes. Okay. So what I'm talking about stars is, you know, those big freestanding stars that they put in the station on the Green Park last year, the Hort Park.
Yeah.
So obviously the Hort Park is closed. So, you know, we have an opportunity. There was 2 or 3 in that park. We could put them somewhere. There was also some down in Mad River, like I'm pointing behind me, like, you know. And so there's some down there. So we probably have about 4 or 5 big freestanding stars. They have to plug in. But if you guys want, we could strategically place them along the street if you want a bit of lights. I'm just proposing that if anybody, Jen?
Can I ask the stupid question? I know this has been discussed, obviously, but why not on the poles? Like every town you go into,
correct.
It's on the poles.
Because they think I think what's happened is that the poles are too old and the vibration.
Okay.
It's gonna.
There has been a definitive study, and like engineers, it's a no-go.
No.
Okay.
Yeah. So we worked. Nancy and I were working on it for about
the
2 years.
The
vibrations from the flags.
Yeah.
The banners. Yeah. So Nancy and I started a project with Mayor Burton, who's the planner for the township, about 2 years ago, and hired Burnside consultants. The township paid for, and really paid like, I think, tens of thousands of dollars for this. It was a really serious project that we took on. And the idea what Nancy and I had was that we wanted to be able to actually get an outlet on the poles, and if not, be able to hardwire these either banners with lights on them, or the sort of pole mount lights, or even just stringing lights to the pole and plugging them in. Any sort of Christmas decor lights, really, that we could use the poles for. And so it took them about 4 months to do the study, I think, and it was a very definitive study. It was done by a third party. Engineers, consulting firm, electrical engineers were consulted, and basically the report came back in, I think, July, saying there was absolutely no chance of us ever using the poles, and we did not have permission to do anything on them. Like, we can't even tie bows on them technically. So
Wow.
that's sort of the short part of that story.
Okay.
So that's where we're at, unfortunately. It's kind of sad news. And to be honest, off camera, I will tell you what the guy from Decolite told me about that today. He was quite surprised that was the case, because he says he uses the poles that are hydro poles all across this country and couldn't believe it. But
I wonder how many townships or little villages and towns in our county that actually uses the poles.
well, see, the difference is, like, Stayner can use the poles because they're owned by the town of Stayner. They're owned by the municipality, their poles, but our poles in Creemore are owned by EPCOR.
Oh,
That's the big difference. I know. These are the things Nancy and I discovered after a year.
So the big stars that we can have on the street, they were really kind of cute and cool, but we have to have access to plugs.
So they'd have to plug into probably one of our buildings, is what I'm
we've
thinking.
got power, but it's kind of far away.
Yeah. It's not
Can
something.
can I jump in?
Ben's got power.
Yeah,
Can
sure.
I jump in
We've used it
for
before.
a second, Lori? Yeah, would you? I was just trying to remember what was said at council regarding that, but I think you're right, Lori. It's basically it's because EPCOR has the poles and everything. But is Creemore scheduled to get new poles?
No idea.
Yeah.
Okay.
Even if they do new poles, if they get new poles, does it still remain EPCOR's property, or does it go to the township?
Well, no. If you get new poles, then I don't know whether it'd be EPCOR or the township, but new poles, you'll be able to put something on the new poles. It's yeah. It seems to me that I recall someone said something about new poles coming to Creemore at some point, and I don't know exactly when. But anyway, I'm just trying to read my emails here. So.
Well, maybe.
But what you said about
future.
the current poles is right.
Yeah. Maybe there's hope for the future then, but certainly not for this Christmas or this holiday season. So we're kind of winding down in time. So at this point, I just figure the only chance we have for lights right now are those stars. So we don't have to decide tonight, but I think it's something maybe we can put our heads together even offline. And Nancy and I can maybe reach out to some of you guys if anybody wants a star maybe plugged into the side of their building. I worry about the snow plows that go down on the sidewalks. We don't want them cutting across cords. So that's why
I get my planters every year, drag them for a block.
Yeah, I know. So anyway.
Have you been in touch with Amanda about where they want to place the stars? Like, because I know that they have some kind of a, maybe Kayla knows more, but in talking to Amanda, I thought they had some kind of a Clearview wide lights program or something that they were thinking about.
That's the stars.
This was a long time. She kind of mentioned this to me. Kayla, do you know anything about it?
Yeah, you're talking about the different 3D shapes. So there's a couple reindeer and stars and snowflakes. Is that the one that you're talking about?
Sorry, yeah, ours are snowflakes. They're not stars. I apologize. I think they're snowflakes.
Yeah, and they're getting kind of transferred around everywhere. You're absolutely right, Sarah. It is Clearview wide. So I know Nottawa's getting a couple. Evening Hall's going to get one or two. Not sure what they'll be. They tried to put in their request, but we'll see what comes back. So Mara did have that going on. Were you looking for more, Sarah?
I was, because when I talked to Amanda a while ago, she mentioned something about kind of coordinating and promoting the lights throughout the municipality. So I didn't know if she had a really distinct idea of where she wanted them, or
I think that there is a distinct plan for them to go, which I understand from speaking with Amanda, that there is a plan of how many pieces go in each location.
Yeah, I think they do have that strategized.
And
but
5 sounds like a big number for us. I really don't think it's that big.
It could be though, because I know Stayner had some in their little station park and elsewhere, but the person I would direct you to is probably Mara. She kind of spearheaded that, and she might actually have more information or connection into more of those decorations.
We had 5 last year, Heather.
We had 4. I think we had 4 or 5 last year, and the idea was we were going to get more.
Right. We had the park though. We had the few down, 2 down at the park, and I think 3 or 4 in the station.
So do we have a budget to purchase more of the same thing?
I don't know if we want to be honest.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes.
I'm not keen to purchase more of them. I think they're already going to be hard to place.
Yeah.
Right, because we don't have power.
Yeah.
Oops.
All right.
Once the station on the green park starts to, materialize next year,
Yeah.
whole walkway of trees are going to be lit up, and there's going to be lighting already underground for all these trees. So it's going to be gorgeous. That's going to help us out a lot. And then maybe strategically placing some stars or something around the town, the Caroline Mill, all that will look beautiful, and that'll just augment it. So I think we'll have like a real centerpiece there of beautiful lights.
Hallmark Christmas town.
Yeah, it'll be really beautiful. So I think that'll help. It's just this year it's going to be a bit sad in my opinion.
In terms of locations that we could put them, it has to be adjacent. Like, you have to have like a property like beside the refillery could work in that space.
Yeah.
Beside
Even like the
pop-up gallery we could put somewhere, but we need permission from the landowners. I would put a star next to our building on Caroline, like the church. I wouldn't mind putting that there. I didn't want to put a porta potty there, but I'd put a star there.
How about a porta potty and a star?
Then people would know where to go pee.
Potty.
We don't even need light. We don't even need those signs then. Follow the star.
If somebody's talking to Mara, should we put out feelers and see if we need agreements with landowners? I mean, they should be out next week, 2 weeks from now. They need our help.
Who wants to talk to Amanda about this?
Well, before the 28th, right?
21st, they're strolling.
Okay. Do you want me to reach out to Amanda?
I can if you want to.
Heather.
Why don't you do it, Heather?
Okay,
Yeah.
great.
And I am asking of how many and what were, if we have options for locations.
Yeah. I mean, Amanda's been super helpful to us, so she's been really great. I text her sometimes late at night and she texts me back, so she's awesome. Okay. Anything else about street decor, Nancy, that you wanted to add? No? No?
Can I jump in?
Doug, yeah, go right ahead.
Yeah. I'm going to send you this hydro pool report that came to council. New one. Is it Jen?
Yes.
Oh yeah, Jen, sorry, you haven't met.
Yeah. Jen, what's your email address?
JYA ECK.
JYA?
Yeah.
Sorry, start again.
JYA ECK
Yeah.
at hotmail.com.
Okay. I'll send this to everybody.
Great.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you, Doug. Okay. All right. So I think we're going to have a really beautiful Christmas, though, with the Christmas trees. So I'm quite excited about those coming on Saturday. And do you need help, Nancy, other than Tammy Penny? Yeah.
I don't know yet. I don't know.
You don't know? Okay.
Is there any way that when we do something and when we put them out, that we can put out to the memberships in the nicest way possible, that they are not to put decorations in the goddamn trees?
What was that?
I could probably reword that, but
in the green trees.
I think I could reword some of that, but certainly we can.
I'm on recording. Okay. So
people watch this, I learned.
A lot more people than we think. So for all those thousands of you at home right now, because you've gone through all of Netflix and now you're watching the BIA meeting.
The memberships, it's like, oh, the trees are out, we're going to put stars in them, whatever it is, but please refrain from putting decorations in your trees outside the businesses, because we need to keep it streamlined. Because last year there was a lot of trees that were getting extra decor, but these are BIA trees, so we just have to keep them all you know what I mean? And
as the head of the street decor, do you think you could draft something and put it on the Facebook page? And I'd be happy to include it in our next newsletter. Maybe I could do like a monthly newsletter or something. Yeah.
Great. Yeah, that would be great.
Okay. Sure.
And I don't think it was the actual BIA members, but I think there were a lot of the people that were living close by were putting stuff in. So I'll actually, and I can address those ones as well.
Okay. Heather.
3 snowflakes at Station on the Green on the Caroline Street side, and 3 snowflakes set to be in Mad River Park.
Okay.
You already decided. Okay, that's what I was wondering.
So we don't have to decide then. Okay. That works.
Hey, off the list.
Done. We don't have to, one last thing to do. Great.
So we can't have more down in the downtown core though.
Yeah.
Down the corner there. It's like,
Maybe you should buy a blow up minion and put it in front.
yeah.
I will this week. How about I just ask and see what happens? If we can, the 3 at Station, or at least we can spread something out. I don't know.
Even if we could bring them, Jen, I'm kind of including you in this, more to that corner where you are or something, you know, the corner of the street.
And from what I understand and why it's at Station, I believe that the decision was around the township there at the halls, sort of.
Yes. And also electricity, you know, it's municipal electricity and things like that.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, there's no harm in asking, but I do think that there's a plan.
It does make sense.
For everywhere.
I do agree. It makes sense. Great. Is Amanda watching us?
I don't think so, but I texted her and asked the question.
I just wondered. That was a really quick response. Okay, cool. Anybody else, or we're about street decor? No? Okay. All right, so let's move ahead. Actually, can I do a 6.1 under street decor? I'm so sorry. I just want to add about the shed. I'd like to have this in the minutes. Our beloved shed behind Foodland that predates me. Jen might even know more about this than I do. Way back when they had the shed behind Foodland, and it got a lot of stuff in it over the years from the event.
Stuff I've never seen before.
Right. Well, we were this year, Sim from Foodland called me about a month ago and said, you know, we're doing some renovations and we find that there's some animals living underneath it, and we don't really think it's hygienic to have it close to the doors of Foodland. And for a lot of other reasons, we think we'd like to take the shed away. And I agreed with him. I appreciated all the years that Foodland let us keep it. It was very generous of them, and they just let it stay on their property for free for many years. And so he very graciously and very kindly offered if he could help us to remove it. And so basically I was away on the day they decided to do it, but he called the Got Junk people. They came, and I think Nancy and Sarah.
Sarah, did you go back because they took everything away. They only, like Tim said, it was really disgusting. Some of the things there was.
Unfortunately, animals had got into a lot of it, and it had been pretty badly, preserved over the years.
So the only thing that we could save was the garbage bins, and there's a plastic bucket full of black tarps from the Halloween stuff. They're brand new, but it's still sitting back there. But Dan Gowan has picked up those bins along with the 5 extra decor planters, and he's storing them at the township.
Yeah.
Good.
Hugely nice thing. That was a great project. There's a lot of great community involvement. I mean, Foodland paid for the Got Junk people to take away a lot of that stuff that we didn't have to pay for. They're also paying for the dismantling of the shed. And Dan Gowan and Amanda organized the picking up of any of the pieces and parts from the shed and putting them in storage somewhere into Clearview Township until the spring for us. And I think that was really sweet that everybody kind of rallied around us and helped us out. And I just wanted to acknowledge that. So we no longer have a shed behind Foodland. But to be honest, other than the skis that were in there, I'd never used it. I don't think anyone here has really ever used it.
It was literally full of stuff from Halloween, like old
cardboard boxes of stuff. Yeah.
It was really bad.
Yeah.
All right.
So shed is no longer. I just wanted to let you guys know that. Okay. now we can move on to events. So let's talk about the shopping event, 7.1, which is the holiday shopping event, Christmas in the Valley type of thing. Sarah very wisely circulated a few ideas on Facebook group this week on our BIA group, which I think got a lot of great positive comments. So Sarah, did you want to add something about that?
Yeah, I think I also circulated on there that I had hoped somebody would kind of take the reins. I really see.
I think it was supposed to be me, to be honest. I dropped the ball.
I think I think it is really an outreach program more than anything, but the feedback that we got that was really important was that the structure has to be different than the last 2 years, where we're focusing on purchasers as opposed to visitors this year, just because of the nature of our limited space. Perhaps giving longer periods of time if one were to choose to do the passport system at all. I have never really been on the record as loving the passport idea, but I think this year it could be used if on one side there was a passport which gave information about the upcoming Christmas events, and on the other side there was some kind of a shop local incentive. So whether that is a buy from 3 locations or I don't know, but it has to, whatever we do, it has to be done very quickly, because we're only 2 weeks away. The Echo, I'm putting my Echo hat on. The Echo's working hard to try and pull together some spreads, which will be paid for by individual businesses. But regardless, the Echo will make certain that the community knows about this. But the marketing committee will need to look at how we're going to push the information out. If there is a desire to do radio ads or advertising anywhere else, that has to be somebody else's call. But yeah, so Lori, I actually wanted to come and maybe talk to you.
I know, I'm sorry.
I know, you're so busy. It's crazy. It's just crazy how busy everybody is. But we need to get the plan fully created and maybe pull in some of our new and enthusiastic members to really help us get this done.
Yeah, so let's just comments from other board members about the shopping event from last year. If you participated in it, do you think it's a good idea? Would you change the format? We're talking about, it was like a little passport card that folded. And last year, if you don't recall, everybody was sort of running around to all the stores and getting signatures or stamps. And then they were handing them in to a single location where then they could be entered into a draw to win a gift basket, which was made up of products and services from all of the members. So do we want to do this again? That's the first question. Do we want to keep it in the same format? Do we want to change the format? If you haven't read the Facebook comments I put on there this morning, I was concerned that I didn't want people lining up just to get a signature. Well, I don't think they would, but also because I think like a lot of you guys, you limit how many people are in your store on the weekends. I was concerned that, we would just be crowding the stores with people that maybe weren't shoppers. And I think we don't have the luxury of doing that right now. So, no. So, Heather, thoughts? I'm going to kind of, whoever's on my screen first, you're on there first. What thoughts?
We don't have anybody in our store. We're not supposed to get that close to our customers as me.
Is it like close enough to sign or stamp? Is that what you're suggesting?
Yeah, I mean, we could be doing stuff on the stairs if it's placed and step back. And again, it's kind of hard to prioritize the people who aren't shopping.
Okay.
I mean, we will participate with the majority. It's just, that's what I'd say on our end. It's kind of, in the circumstance, it's kind of tricky, like you've mentioned.
Maybe the passport might not be a great idea this year.
Generally, I'm not interested in passports. I think a tool to help circulate people around and really give them information about where to shop is good, and that is one thing that the passport might be to do, is just awareness about where people could shop in the village. But the timeline's really short, and there is a cost associated with creating something like that.
I would like to see like a two-sided flyer that said something about the shopping, maybe the parade idea that we have, two-sided maybe. Because we have people that pick up paper all day long in front of the curtain. We have little stands outside, so we're happy to have that stuff for people to pick up. And I just feel like the spend on that piece would be more beneficial to us than the passport. Considering the times and our limitations with our.
Nancy, I don't know if you're going to be open, so maybe it won't affect you. Jen, what are your thoughts?
Are you talking to me?
Yeah,
sorry. You know what? My internet keeps going in and out, so I apologize. You guys keep anyway, I keep losing you. I have two things. Last year I wasn't here because I was on vacation. So how well did the event go last year was my one question.
I think anybody into our store,
a lot of people, but for me, they weren't shoppers. It brought a lot of people that just wanted the the prize draw. So I had a lot of people running in and running out, but not really stopping to browse around or look around the store.
And my other thought was, like, what if we had, you could still do a gift basket, but you have to spend a certain dollar amount within the store to get the ballot. And then all those ballots at the end of the day are collected from each location, and then we draw the gift basket. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yep. That's quick and easy to implement, and I think that does incentivize people to shop. I also think that the ballot idea is something that we've used before. It's a great way to build our email list that we've never really built, but they have to put a name, a phone number, and an email address. They enter it, they leave these ballot boxes anywhere, and then they can get the prize. That would be my preference if we wanted to do a draw.
Then the individual stores hand out the ballots based on the minimum purchase, we decided.
Yeah.
Okay.
I really like the idea. I had written down draw with my notes too. So I think that that's a really great way to do it. And that way we just collect them. And if certain businesses aren't interested in participating, it's easy enough. They just don't get a ballot box and little ballots.
We're already doing a ballot box contest that runs until the 24th of December. So I'd be happy to participate in donating to the big prize or whatever. It's just, I don't want to do both of them at the same time.
Get that.
Fair enough.
Ours, and we will figure out like the run dates and everything. We'll figure out the things. But the nice thing is that we could solicit. I know that many of our members really want some kind of an incentive program, and they want to be seen as participating. So I think if we said that if you make a purchase at these stores, you enter to win. So rather than that, the thing that people are carrying around, they leave something there. But I think it's important to list the name of the stores. From what I was hearing on Facebook, maybe other people heard it differently, but I think that might be important.
I think so too. Okay, so let's put the straw man together that we're going to do what Jen said, some sort of ballot box with a minimum purchase somehow in the, we list the stores. I don't know if that's just in the Echo or if it's on a brochure. I'm not sure on a ballot. And then the other question I had is what's the duration? You know, there were certain questions. I know Jen put a point on Facebook about Sundays, and then a couple other people chimed in about Sundays. So, but then again, you're purchasing. Sorry, go ahead, Jen.
Sorry, if the event was worthwhile, I would, you know, like if we were able to get some traction, I would definitely open for the day for like not maybe a full day. You're saying no, Sarah. Okay.
I think that this should be seen as a real kickoff and a reminder to shop locally with the beginning of this. I think that the longer we run this ballot box, the better. Like, I think if we wanted to run it till mid-December, that might be nice. And then we can continually remind people that this is still happening, to shop local, that Jeff Bezos is not organizing the Santa Claus parade. I think
that's right.
Jeff Bezos is not organizing the Santa Claus parade. So just remember that, okay?
And it turns into like a holiday gift too, right? Like if it's the week before Christmas, then people shop up until then, and then we gift
the draw.
the prize winner, and it's right around the time.
Yeah.
Okay, I think we have a framework we can work with. So then the marketing committee can look at the budget and we can figure out what tools we can use to make it all happen.
Okay, that sounds good.
Another question, sorry. I see the Christmas in the Valley event, like there's also talk about a BIA gift certificate in that. This would be a separate.
Yeah, so when we talked about the certificates, it would be for the best hat. I think we talked about this at our last meeting, for the parade and for the hat contest. Okay. So if it's like the hashtag Creemore Loves Christmas, and we have, I think, budgeted in the Santa Claus parade budget, I think, I can't remember if it's $150 or $200 for prizing, and those would go out in the form of a BIA gift certificate paid for by the BIA, and then they could be redeemed by the business owner that receives them.
Okay. Is anybody excluded from winning? Because I'm pretty sure I'll win.
So we have to say non-BIA board members are.
Oh, we all could use a little win around here.
Right, I'm just kidding. Awesome. Okay, well, I hope you do win. But I'm not saying that in any sort of way that is, yeah.
On the record.
I know, for the record, I don't want to be looking like I'm giving money to BIA board members. So okay, so I think we've got sort of a good framework there that we can work on. Jen, would you be interested in kind of helping us out on our team there with me and Sarah?
Yeah, definitely.
Great, because it seems like you have some great ideas there and I really like them. Okay, awesome. So we'll take that offline and develop that, and we'll probably just, do we need to, where's Kayla? Do we need to put a motion together, or are we good because we can put it on? Kayla just appears.
For your holiday, are you talking holiday shopping or?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, if you have that as an event in your budget, you've already approved your budget, you should be fine.
Okay, great. Thank you.
I sent you some of my ideas for holiday shopping events too.
Oh, where did you send them?
Just to your email. Yeah.
Okay. I love that.
It's only what, November 11th? It'll be fine. We'll figure it out.
You guys will be fine. You got this. You're pros.
Kayla, do you want to tell us what your ideas were now, or would you prefer that we read them in an email?
No, I can share them if you guys want to indulge me. So one that we have in Midland's downtown core, they do a girls' holiday shopping weekend. So it starts Thursday and goes to Sunday. They purchase a pamphlet of coupons. So they can go into a store, they get $15, get you the booklet, and they get 10% off it, maybe heirloom, and maybe they get
I like that.
Yeah, and then there's different packages. So if you want a meal package, it's $35, and then you can go in, and if Nancy was open, you could get a latte or a crumpet or something to go with your shopping experience. Anyways, I sent you more information on that one to your email. And then another one, I'm just picking it up from this crazy Halloween that we just had. I didn't take my kids out trick-or-treating the traditional way. We did a scavenger hunt. So I thought if you guys could move the scavenger hunt to a map that maybe a Christmas Wonderland map that shows the different businesses on the street. And people can go in there, and somewhere within your business, maybe you have a hidden, I don't know, something silly like a jelly bean counter, and they have to fill out their contact information. If they guess the jelly beans, maybe they get a scarf or something from your business.
Or I hide an ornament on a tree. Oh,
yeah.
Wait, I don't think they're coming inside.
2021.
So anyway, something like that. Just a couple little tidbits.
I don't know if I can pull that off, or any of us. But any other ideas, Kayla? I love them.
Yeah, they're great ideas.
That's all I got for now.
I love them. I think they're fantastic. And hey, Kayla, if you want to implement them, I think everybody on the board would be more than happy to have you manage it. It's good.
When I worked up at Blue Mountain, we did scavenger hunts for all the guest services, and they were so popular. And not just for the kids, it was the adults, because it gives them something to do. They loved it.
Yeah, it's pretty fun ideas. I just think, unfortunately,
Not this year.
given the date, we may not have the time. Or any of us.
Someone ghosting you?
Someone's showing off. And now he's screaming.
Perfect. Love that. Okay. Is there anything else we'd like to add under events? The shopping event, sorry, in particular?
Oh, I've got a banner going up.
Oh, banner, yes.
Oh.
Yes, what's the update on the banner?
I think we made that banner last year.
And we didn't put any dates on it.
You know, I think it's good to go. Sorry, I have goo on.
I love that none of us could remember what it looked like, but I think I was adamant of the new one not having dates.
Right.
I think I remember being mouthy about that.
I remember the conversation.
And the date, I'm just looking at the date, it'll go up Friday the 20th until the 4th of December. But we want it to go, no, it's got to go longer than that because the parade's on the 5th.
Yeah, exactly. Doesn't it stay up for the whole holiday season?
No, I thought it stayed up.
Well, they have a limit on the banner regulations. I think it's only a 2-week window. So I better call Jen Percy about that to confirm. I put the wrong dates in because I was late to the request for many reasons, probably because I'm busy. But I've been talking to Jen Percy at the town and she's going to help me. I'm just going to have to fix the bring down date and ask if we can have it for the month if there's no conflict with anything else.
Yeah, at least until the new year, maybe even. I don't know.
Okay.
That's great though. If it goes up on the 20th, that really works well because there is are we still doing the window reveal on the 21st? Is that still part of our programming?
I thought that was the 28th.
Oh.
Sorry, the window reveal is like the shopping thing. I don't know. I have like so many old ideas that we're trying to mesh together, but the whole idea is kind of a shopping kickoff and it's all about marketing and just getting people to think Creemore first.
And what date do we have for that?
That's the 21st and 22nd.
Sort of kicks off those days.
Wow, my banner email was so off. Okay. So the 20th is fine though?
Maybe it could be the week before
that.
Yeah, at least.
I think the 20th is fine. I think that's kind of like we're just kicking off Christmas. The banner goes up. We tell everybody to come up downtown. It'll be fine.
Okay, but we want to have it to go longer.
Yeah. And then we're going to do one poster for both the shopping kind of thing and the parade idea, right?
That's right. Yeah. And after I meet with you, I want you to approve everything and we'll get those up hopefully by Friday.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we can help. And Heather, do you still have people at the brewery that could maybe help us distribute?
Sorry, what?
I remember last year you offered us some volunteers from the brewery that could help us distribute posters.
Oh, sure.
Because I know it's hard to get out there.
Right, but can somebody really quickly run through what's going on with the Santa Claus parade?
Yeah, I think we're on to that next, if that's okay. I'm going to pass that over to Sarah because I think you're heading a lot of that with the Echo team.
Yeah. Okay, so the Santa Claus parade, people are decorating their businesses or homes, creating a stationary float on the traditional Santa Claus parade day, which is on the 5th of December. We've asked them to activate, which means like come out and wave between 1 and 3, and then we're encouraging the community to stroll around in whatever grouping is recommended by the health department at that time. So stay in whatever grouping is recommended, and then people can go out and wander the streets or get in their car and look at all of these different floats and wave to their friends and neighbors from a distance. And then we have Santa who's going to be sitting in the cutter at the log cabin. We have all the permissions that we need to do that. And we have Santa all lined up for that. Yeah. So, and we have a huge amount of interest. Like I know that we had that was kind of our day today at the Echo, was answering people's emails and questions. So we have a ton of interest and lots of people that want to participate. It's a little bit of a different idea, and anytime you have to communicate a new idea, but it can be challenging, but I think people are kind of picking up on it and are excited that there's something. And I think it's good to get in there and focus people's energies, because there's a lot of people talking, but you know, it's nice to see that we're actually doing and pulling everybody together. This will be Clearview wide, because in the past we've always welcomed businesses from throughout Clearview to come to our parade and display. So I wouldn't want to kick them out this time. So we can certainly, we'll put a listing in and make sure that they're known. Some of the
Stainer's doing the same. Stainer doing the same thing, because they've always had our same parade day.
So what Stainer's doing, I contacted the Kinsmen, and what the Kinsmen are doing is they have, he is going to tour different communities on different days. So I'm not exactly certain when Santa's going to come to Creemore, but I think it will be a different day, which is nice, than when our stationary parade will be. And as soon as I know that, maybe I'll try and pin that down so that maybe we could even put that on the poster. If the Kinsman parade, or if Santa's coming with the Kinsmen, then maybe I'll try and get that on the poster too. I think that has a lot of value to the community.
Do you know anything about what that looks like, Santa coming with the Kinsmen? Is it stationary, or is he driving through?
No, he drives up and down the streets, and people can come out of their homes and wave.
Oh, that'd be so lovely.
Yeah, I think it's a very sweet idea. Other ideas we've had, that we wondered if we could get some of the pipers to pipe independently at different corners in Creemore. They've always been a huge part of our parade, and I think that they would be outside and they'd be alone. So as long as people don't gather, we could probably do that. So we're talking to the Highlanders, and I mean, if nothing else, I'm sure Tim Armour will walk up and down the main street.
Sure. Guaranteed.
So, yeah. So we're making progress. Some of the challenges will be just ensuring that we communicate properly with people about the precautions that they need to take. And you know, that's something we'll be communicating in everything that we do. But anything that you guys have thought of that we should put on our radar?
We're looking at potentially having a solo live music, doing Christmas carols on our patio. It's that or pumping out music, or we'll do both. And I'm just wondering if there'll be a concern of people collecting outside, like around the patio. But the idea is to keep it moving, and we want to contribute with music somehow. So this is sort of what I was thinking about, to sort of bring music to the parade.
I think that's really nice. And I think the idea is that people will be moving. It'll be cold, and they'll just want to wander. So let's hope if they do start to congregate, maybe signage at your location would help.
Or just stop the music.
Take care of.
Back off.
Just stop the music, they'll all go away. And
well, that's a good idea. Yeah.
I'll have snowflakes distanced on the floor, on the ground.
Yeah. That's a nice idea. I mean, that actually would be kind of a cute thing to do, is to put like big, fun, I'm going to call them chevrons. You know, like how they say, like, stay 2 chevrons apart. Yeah. When you're on the highway, like putting that on Mill Street would be kind of sweet. Actually, it would look quite cute if we said stay.
Do we have any budget to do sort of?
Yeah. I don't think we do, but it would have been cute. If somebody wants to get out there with chalk, they could do it. Anyways,
well, that company in New Lowell does street stickers, so
they're super expensive. Yeah, they'd be neat. They're $24 each.
Yeah. Oh.
Sorry, Jen, you had something to say?
Sarah, well, I was just wondering, like, for outside businesses, so say Steer this year, for instance, where would they be placed in the parade? Like,
so Steer would set up a location at Steer.
Okay.
And people might go in there.
Come from outside of town. Like, is there a spot for them to go?
Can anybody go in the feed lot?
So what I've had a couple people question that. Like, I had somebody today, Ray's Place, contacted me, and she said, you know, I'd love to do it somewhere more high vis than at my home, which is kind of tucked away.
Right.
But I think we are going to have to leave it to the individual businesses and organizations to find a location that works for them. I don't think we can.
Can we suggest Mad River Park for anybody?
I think asking people, I think municipal land is going to be a little bit difficult for people to coordinate. I know for us, we had to go through a bit of a process in order to be able to have Santa at the log cabin.
Okay.
So, I mean, if people are talking to any of you and are asking about using
Direct them to the
municipal
town.
land, I don't think we have to say no. I think we have to point them in the right direction. So sending them to Amanda or Terry, they can certainly ask. There's no harm in asking. But I think encouraging people to use private, personal land is the easiest thing for everybody.
And Scott's lot is available, you know, the empty one right across from me.
Yeah.
So add that to the list. Anyway, Sarah, it sounds like an amazing program you guys have put together.
Well, we'll see.
All the
It's something.
constrictions this year, and I think you're doing an awesome job, you guys, at the expo, because it's you've got so many moving target parameters to kind of work around, and I think you're doing an awesome job figuring it all out. So
we have Natalie DeRuiter to thank. She's kind of doing the heavy lifting on all the admin, thank goodness.
A lot of work.
Yeah, but in some ways this is quite easy because we don't have to go to the yard. We don't have to organize the floats. Like there's a lot of things that aren't there. It's just making sure that we communicate and make sure people participate. That's so yeah. It really is, again, like I hate to keep putting things on the marketing brain, but this is really marketing.
Who's on this marketing committee? So the other question I had from a marketing hat is, are we going to start to put ads in the Echo about the stationary parade and just sort of trying to communicate what's going on this year? Because I think we should maybe start sooner than later.
Yeah.
The idea was that we would start this week, but I'm not in a position to make decisions about when we advertise or how much we advertise in the Echo. So I really need you guys to come up with that plan.
You should advertise right away because then people can start working on floats in their houses.
So let's sit down and you guys can decide what works. But I do think we have to start advertising now, and I think we need to be, I mean, the Echo will be very generous, I'm sure, but we need to make sure that we have a high profile pushing people to shop locally all Christmas season.
Okay, I agree. Now, what about the budget for the parade? How is that panning out for you? I think we have the budget.
The budget is very low. It doesn't need to be very high. There's not a lot of expenses. I think we shared that at the last meeting. It's as per the original annual budget.
I think we did a motion.
Here, let me pull this up here. So we had quite a high promo budget of $1,000. So we have $1,000. We can spend it on radio, print, whatever you guys want to do. But that's what's sitting there to get us to our annual budget. We had $2,000 planned for the parade, and because we don't have marching bands or anything like that this year, we have a little bit more to spend on promotion, and then we have a little bit to spend on ensuring that we can decorate Santa up nicely.
We should reach out to Amanda because she may have a group Clearview Township advertising budget for the holidays that we can maybe jump into.
I talked to her a little bit about that very early on because I wanted to ensure that we were coordinating because it's not like how we I mean, the thing is so much of what we do in this community, we just do out of habit. So it becomes kind of difficult when you change up the program. So I did talk to Amanda, and she didn't seem to think that there was anything specific for that. She did tell me that they were going to be doing some promotion around the lights and a festival of lights or something to encourage people to go around and see that. But that's kind of the only thing that they had planned for Christmas.
Okay.
It was one other thing from the Chamber of Commerce that they were doing a window reveal.
White Wednesday.
White Wednesday after ours. I sent an email to all of you guys this week asking if you wanted to do it or if it was just too hard for us to try to coordinate. Not that we don't want to be part of what the Chamber of Commerce does, but having our own set of programs kind of running in place, I thought it might be really hard to sort of break away and do that one. I've had a couple members of the BIA in Creemore forward me information about that and say, you know, does the BIA know about this? Are we participating in it? I know a couple of you said, I don't think it's going to really work for us. Is anybody really feeling like they want to be part of that White Wednesday, Heather?
So my thoughts are, I don't want to say no to the chamber because they want to do something collaborative and get us involved, and I don't want to say no to that. And they're doing the advertising and I don't think it's on us. So I thought it would be nice for us to participate if we could get everybody to do it. I don't have anything white for my window, so I'm not sure what I would do. Maybe snowflakes. But I don't know about saying a hard no to it. I don't know if there is a way that we could participate just because they're trying to be collaborative, and I don't know.
Sarah, did you have a comment?
I think as an organization, we can thank them for their efforts and tell them that we've shared the information with our members, and it's in the hands of our members to communicate directly with them as to how they're participating. Okay. I don't think we as an organization have the capacity to add this, especially at this late date, other than to just push it out to our membership. That's my opinion. I do applaud them, and I think that there's lots of space for us to work collaboratively going forward.
I agree. How do I communicate that with the members then? Do I put it on Facebook and just say, if anyone's interested in participating, contact Kat at the Chamber of Commerce?
I found that Facebook page, tons, like far more people seem to interact with that than with the newsletter. Because when we tell people that we sent out the newsletter, they're like, what newsletter?
Nobody sees it, I know.
We got something from the chamber. Is that not just easy enough to share on the page?
Copy and paste, yeah. What I just didn't want to put it on because I was afraid that people then would somehow think that we were organizing that on their behalf. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
Their letterhead.
There that if they're interested in participating, they're kind of on their own to do it.
I think so.
That's fair.
Okay, great. I just wanted to make sure that we were clear about that. Okay.
Is everybody else comfortable with that?
Sorry?
Is everybody comfortable with that?
I think that's a fair thing. Fair communication.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. Anything else about the Santa Claus Parade or holiday events or anything like that before I close this section? Anybody have any other further comments? No? Okay, great. So public participation, officially, Jen, you are the only public member on the meeting. So if there's anything you'd like to say, participation now.
I don't have anything.
Financial report. So Sarah, you're kind of doing all of it. Put another hat on, why don't you?
Yeah, well, we haven't been spending much money, so I haven't been spending a lot of time on the finances. Since we last talked, the things that we have paid include for all the promotion that was around the sidewalk sale. So that included the print and the radio ads. Those have been paid for. The other things we have just paid for are the basic street maintenance as well as the pumpkins. So our payables have been minimal. I have to go and get another check out of the mail and put that in. We are underspent, obviously, because we haven't run so much of the programming that we have in the past. So we're in good shape financially. We are also at that time of year where we should start thinking about budget for 2021. I know that's kind of exhausting and difficult, especially because we don't know what to expect going forward. But the things that we do know we can expect are definitely street decor, and we should look at the marketing too, because those are things that we're certainly going to need for next year. So if people are comfortable holding on to their roles as the committee chairs and trying to put together some numbers of things that they would like to do for next year, then we can sit together and kind of mash it all up and see what we come up with. Yeah, so that's kind of the big task is getting that budget pulled together.
Could I make a suggestion about that?
Yeah, please.
Could I possibly suggest EGM in the budget to January?
Oh yeah, we're not doing anything before then. I mean, the municipalities always.
We did it in December. We did mid-December. We had the meeting, and
yeah, it's really hard.
Then I think all of us are pretty strapped this December even more. So if I could suggest that, we start thinking about it now, like you said, and start getting the plans in place, and then maybe we start with some informal kind of planning sessions in January. I don't think any of us are really going away on holiday. So I think we're all going to be here.
I am going on a vacation in January.
Oh, sorry. Heather's going away.
Are you?
Where are you going? Never mind. Sorry.
This is public.
Sorry.
Anyway.
I forgot it was public. Anyway.
That's fine. I think the one thing that we need to be aware of is if we have any requests from the municipality and we want money from them for anything, now we would want to make sure that we got our request in while they're doing their budget planning. So that's why, I think that's why they like to see our budget when we put it in. So if there's anything, I mean, I don't personally, they've been so generous with us. We haven't needed to ask through the budgeting process since Mara came on board.
Right.
But that's kind of one of the reasons that it's actually a requirement of a board to have a budget by end of December, but it's fine. We'll make it work.
I know that's the requirement, but I think in the last few years, other than last year, I don't think we often always had it done by the end of December.
Unrealistic. Yeah.
Lori, quickly, on the Terry was going to help us do water next year or not, or he wasn't. Oh, you know what? I'll reach out to him.
Maybe an email, yeah, because you're right. That was the direction we wanted to head. And there was also, remember last year in our long-term planning portion of our AGM, we said we would look into a shed, whether we needed our own storage here in Creemore or not, and whether we would sort of fund a portion of it and the municipality would pay a portion of it or something like that. So that's another thing. I don't know if we need the shed now because the municipality's been pretty good with us with storing our planters and stuff. So maybe it's not necessary. And I had a good chat with Amanda too. A lot of the things the municipality has upgraded in terms of all the event equipment is a lot better quality than what we would have had in Creemore, over the years. So because we now have access to their equipment free of charge, more or less, because we're BIA, we don't need to store a lot of our own event equipment anymore because they've been spending the last 2 years upgrading it all and getting it all organized. And I think we can really lean on them for a lot of the stuff that we used to do, I think, in past BIAs ourselves. So even things like garbage cans, we kept these ones because it's handy to have, but, they have them too. So, I think that's also something so things are kind of changing. So we may not need as much as before, but yeah, if we could maybe start thinking about budget, if there's anything anybody thinks they can do for the municipality, like Sarah said, and then we try to move our AGM to January. I'd certainly have a lot more time to provide in January to planning and budgeting than I would in December.
Budgeting, the budgeting as a rule tends to be kind of copy and paste with the exception of kind of bigger spends and different focuses. So I think events kind of were a big focus for a while. That's where money went and that's where we raised money. But next year, I think marketing, personally, I think that marketing and street decor are going to be big. So everybody put on their thinking caps, think what they want to do. If they have any ideas, we could also do some outreach to our members to see if they have projects or needs. That's always really informative. So I think if everybody's okay with that, I'll say we're starting the budgeting process. Is there anything you've seen around town that you think we need to address in 2021?
Okay, that's a good idea. Sounds good.
Okay, that's all.
Thank you for the financial report. Okay, the marketing report is, we're still working ahead with our Instagram is still going really well. It's still trending upwards, which is great. I met with Kathy Weber, who is doing our website. So I did have a meeting with her. She's got all the bare bones kind of put in place right now. And she's got a lot of photography that Joy was able to provide. And so we're hopefully by the end of the year, we're going to have our website up and going. So all we need now is just to make sure that everybody's got their information on the website or, that form, because she's feeding it all into the website now. And she's going around calling people that might have missed getting their stuff in, which actually was me and maybe Sarah. So
Nancy.
all the board members didn't put their information for the website together. So make sure you find that form. And if not, maybe I'll send it to you. But you just shoot an email to Kathy Weber and just say, here's my website, here's my Instagram page, here's one sentence about my business, that sort of thing. And hopefully Joey came to your businesses already and took pictures. And if not, he'll be doing it over the next few weekends. Or you can provide a picture if you so that's sort of what's going on with marketing, is really just social media and the website. And then of course we'll just be feeding into all these events, non-event events. Okay, so any questions about marketing while we're on it? Okay. New business, unfinished business, anything, anybody have anything new they'd like to put forward at this time? Nope, I don't see anything. Okay, so in that case, guys, if there's nothing else, we can adjourn. Our next meeting is, well, I don't know, here it says November the 10th, but I'm gonna go with December the 8th.
Yes.
So December the 8th is our next meeting, Tuesday night. We're all going to be pulling our hair out by then because we'll be in full Christmas season after the parade and everything. So it'll be good because we'll do a little bit of a debrief about the parade and the shopping event, and we'll probably have a lot more sort of information to kind of gather that we can put forward for next year so that we can improve our events as we go forward. And I think that's it. So if you're all okay, I'd like to make a motion to adjourn the meeting at 8:35 p.m. A little bit over. Heather's going to second it, and Nancy's going to